It's time for Everything Noob, your source for all things gaming.
Episode 92 of the Everything Noob podcast on now. I am Vortek, joined this evening by Dreadlow and Jemmy. I'm Vortek, as I said, and I am on YouTube all the time, doing all kinds of crazy videos and things like that. Trying to get back into live streaming, but that's been kind of an issue. Dreadlow?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of trying to get back into the YouTubing thing. I found some interesting games that I might be able to put up. But other than that, I just like to play a lot of games.
Jemmy?
Yeah, I've pretty much dropped off the face of the earth with Final Fantasy XIV. You probably find me in Eorzea doing whatever I am doing, probably raiding.
Well, that's a little bit about us. It's Everything Noob, weekly gaming podcast. And every week we pick a theme. This week we've chosen to talk about gaming tech, the future of gaming, things of that nature. But just a couple hours ago, some big news broke, and I wanted to mention it. Actually, what I also learned, I didn't even know this, but this person was actually really big into gaming as well. That was kind of news to me. But it was just, the news just broke that Robin Williams passed away today. And, it's kind of on everyone's mind, and I wanted to say, a quick little rest in peace, Robin Williams. And it's times like this where, shows like this are here to entertain you, and, if you're bummed out, try to, lift your spirits a bit. So we're going to do the show as we always do, but, yeah, just wanted to say that.
You will be sorely missed.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
He recently did, the most recent thing I saw him in was The Crazy Ones, and CBS canceled the show, but such a funny show. They did such a good job with that show.
And there is a movie coming out. One of the museum. What's that? The museum.
Night at the Museum?
Yeah.
Are they making another one?
Yeah, they already did. It's supposed to be coming out December.
I don't
In
think
other
he
words,
was
he
in
just
it,
finished
though.
it.
He was in the
Because-
first two.
Right.
I didn't see the second one.
Yes, according to an article, he had just finished filming that, and it'll be coming
because
out
I had looked
later
up
in
his
December.
IMDb, and I didn't see that he... Oh, wait, yeah, here it is. Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb.
There you go.
Teddy Roosevelt. There you go.
Comes out in 2014, December, I think.
I
there you
skimmed
go.
over it.
That'll be a very popular movie.
I think so. But I really liked the first one. I just never got around to seeing the second one. But anyway, we're here to talk about gaming tech, gaming technology, the future of gaming. Obviously, things such as Oculus Rift come to mind and things of that nature. But
Right.
last year's CES brought up a whole bunch of awesome things that I heard kind of whispers about, but I never took the time to really learn about them until today. And man, some of these things are really cool. Did you guys see this Leap motion controller?
No, but it sounds
Sorry.
interesting.
I'm
What?
stuck on the joke of, so you're reading about the future today?
I'm reading about the future today.
In the future.
In the future, I read an
But now
article
in the
that was
past.
made in the past
Yeah.
about the future.
Which
and
is
I read it
today.
Today. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This Leap motion controller really caught my eye, though, because it, you know how we have all these touch screens and everything now? This, people are like, oh, the touch screens, future of gaming. And I kind of disagree with that because I don't really like playing games on touch screens as much as I like having a
Oh,
controller.
yeah, it's terrible. I don't like it
Depends.
either.
Simple games on like the tablet, I really enjoy touchscreen, but they need to be simple and like pretty short. I
Like
can
the one
start
that
and
you-
stop it.
You slice the fruit as it's coming down
Oh, yeah.
with your
Fruit
finger, or
Amazing.
yeah, simple stuff like that.
Yeah.
But a real game, no. Touchscreen, never. Never. I will riot and quit.
Well,
GTA, GTA, that must be impossible to work with.
no, it's not, actually.
It's
I
not?
have
Wow.
GTA, I think it's 3 on my iPhone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it actually plays very, very well, given
Wow,
that it's
I'm
just
gonna have to
touchscreen.
download that.
Oh, they did a really good job. I was thoroughly impressed because I thought the controls would be sucky, but no, you can play it very easily. They did a good job.
Well, now we have Leap Motion controller.
Leap motion control. This thing, I was very impressed by the concept because it's imagine a little bar that sits face up under your monitor, and you can put your hands over it, and at that point, that's when they're in contact with your monitor. They're not actually touching
wow.
it. So you don't need a touch screen. You can just use any old monitor and put your hands within it.
It's a ghetto touchscreen.
Yeah, except it's cool. Like the demonstration they did showed a first-person shooter, and the person mimed holding a gun. And as soon as they moved their fingers a certain way to simulate pulling a trigger, the gun would fire.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they're walking around doing this first-person shooter and pretending to hold an actual gun.
It's basically a cheaper Kinect.
Yeah.
That's
It's
scaled
designed to
down
be
a little.
affordable.
Yeah. I think the article was like $69.99 was the projected cost.
Yeah.
So
not
way
bad.
affordable. Skip one game. Get your motion control. If
Well,
you're
could you
into that.
imagine, like, if that technology develops a little bit better or more, you won't need any controller at all in your hand. But based on motion completely. I mean, the Kinect.
But you
What?
don't need a
What is
controller
it?
with this. You just need a little thing that you plop down and you put your hands over.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the Kinect already does something similar to that, right? I mean, you're able to, or is it the?
The
I know
Kinect.
the Kinect for the Xbox One anyway has that motion ability where you can like do the dancing and the moves and it follows your moves. And I know Nintendo I think came out with that first, or that whole concept first, or really,
Well,
got it going.
that's debatable because if you think back, the PlayStation iToy, do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
That was
I remember playing with that in the stores.
That was
I
the
was
same
like, why
concept.
would I ever buy this?
Oh, I had one as a kid. I loved it. For like the short time I actually played with it, because it had a few games that I really, really enjoyed. The ones that came with it, actually. The one I like the most is you stand in the middle of the room, and it just puts you there, and there's this screen that's just kind of moving around you, just down, and there's these ninjas that jump at you, and all you do is swat them away. For like a high score, and it gets more and more challenging. And if too many of them hit you, you're done. It was fun. I don't know. As a kid, I really had fun with it.
No,
If
I'm
you
just
don't-
saying like. Oh wait, just you finish. Just
No, I was
go.
gonna say, well, Xbox, or Microsoft themselves, I think just I don't have the article about it, but somehow they announced possibly allowing us to use Kinect on a PC,
Oh.
which would be interesting. Which is kind
No!
of Leap Motion
No!
controller,
Soon you'll be able to use it on a PC, and soon it
Yeah.
will be mandatory for Windows.
I mean, they've already got Windows 8, right? It's
Oh.
almost very similar to Xbox anyway.
Windows
So
9, here it comes. Or no, it'll be Windows Move.
yeah,
Windows Move. Yeah. How about jump
Yeah,
out of
so-
Windows? Gosh.
Pretty much.
I think it's cool. The Kinect is, I guess it's a lot better than what it used to be, but it doesn't justify buying a whole console for me. And it's not something that I would pay an extra $100 to have right away. Maybe if I, found a really fun application for it. But I also don't consider the Kinect the future of gaming either. It's one step in the direction of virtual reality, but it's not, you know what I mean? We're still a ways off with it, right? No?
Eh, we are here, and then I feel like it's a gimmick still. Like, it's still not really going to go that way. It's still gimmicky. Most of the games are pretty bad, or just, yeah, it's fun for like 5 minutes, but nobody's really addicted to them.
I see it more useful for general applications. I think it gets the most use in the living room as a media center rather than a gaming device. People can sit and say Xbox turn on, and then they can go in and talk to it and tell it what movie they want. And when done, it says Xbox off. And that's it.
I just checked this out. I just looked up on Xbox.com,
Okay.
and there is settings for Kinect for Windows. Not only that, there's settings for Kinect for iOS, settings for Kinect for Android. So I'm guessing that this Xbox Kinect is going to be universal, or is universal.
It depends. There could be applications on those phones that allow you. I don't have one of these things. I wish I did now so I could mess with it. But
Again, this is from Microsoft's website, Xbox.com.
I bet it's just a phone app that links with certain games or something. I don't think you're going to play a game on your iPhone that's going to have the Kinect. as a functional
Yeah.
like device. With your
It's just
phone.
interesting. I just did a search just for the heck of it because I did hear something about that. But this is interesting. They've already got the way of doing it. I mean, there's the driver downloads and everything for it. So there you go. So there's
Who would want that?
there's your Leap Motion controller from Microsoft.
Yeah. I don't know who would want that. I'm not sure who that's for. if
don't
that's
know.
what it is for, I doubt it though. It doesn't
I mean,
seem like that would be a good
a
application.
tablet, sure, but a phone?
This is why I wanted to discuss
Yeah,
the future.
for Windows Phone too.
This is why the future of gaming topic was so interesting to me because that's where we're at right now. So many people are using their phone as their primary gaming device. You're seeing new gamers, quote unquote, every day because they have a cell phone and you can buy games for the phone. Now all of a sudden they're gamers. We have this whole, community of people who exclusively play on phones. I don't consider those people, in the gaming community in the same sense we're in the gaming community.
Well, yeah, because they usually don't participate. They just play their little phone games, and then that's it. They're
right.
usually moms doing laundry and, waiting on their kids
But they're
to finish
considered
soccer
gamers
practice.
now.
But now your mom's a gamer and grandma's a gamer and yeah.
I'm a gamer. I play Farmville.
I played that Farmville. Ting.
I can match the jewels.
Them jewels. I crushed some candies once.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's old school.
Yeah. It's just kind of ridiculous that there's still people out there who think that handheld consoles are going down the tubes with what we have with phones.
Yeah, it's just
It's
going to
not.
get big.
I can say as an owner of a 3DS that there's just no way in hell that a phone will ever compare to the functionality I get with a 3DS.
Yeah.
Just won't happen. I mean,
It's got two screens, though. Like, is that really a fair comparison?
handheld is my thing. Obviously, it's nice to be able to carry the phone around. The 3DS is a little bit too big. I'm not lucky enough to carry a purse. People make fun of me when I do. So generally, I just don't bring it with me.
I don't know. It looks okay. I mean, because yours is blue. It's closed. It's clamshell. So it's kind of like, it just looks like an electronic organizer. That's what it looks like to me.
No one has those.
Nobody has those anymore. I know.
I was going to say, I think I was like 8 when those were around. Come on, no one carries
I mean,
those.
if I
You
carried one
carry
of those around, that's what people would probably think. Oh, this guy's back in the freaking 80s. What the hell?
Actually, I regret not carrying mine around more. Every time, I mean, when Jemmy was here, every time we go somewhere, you get like a dozen street passes, and I'd forget it at home.
It's because I've trained myself. Just take it with me.
Was
I
it
need those pink puzzle pieces. I need them. I don't know why, but I do.
Was it your idea to have a phone app that syncs with your 3DS so you can get street passes but with your phone?
Yes. I feel like that would be an amazing advancement, or just an attachment, or just something that I can just not have to take the 3DS and is exclusively just for street passing.
I mean, how about just an app for your phone anyway that does that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like an app that you can
It's
just
not really
like,
linked to Nintendo or the DS or anything, but it's just an app that's in your phone that will automatically connect you with other people in the area. That would be cool. I don't know if there's one.
But that's called
I never-
Bluetooth.
Yeah, but I mean, to
As
always
a game,
have
you
it.
mean?
Yeah, like not a game, but like a
What's the
you
point
know how
then?
so you could chat with people in the area or whatever. Hey, how you
You
doing?
could
Hey.
just talk to
I
them.
think it's called Grinder.
No, I don't mean that close. I'm talking about within the
when
area.
you're walking around and there's just guys and you just want to meet those guys, but you
I
don't
don't
want
know. I
to. You don't
just
want to be
thought it
so
would be
forward. What if they just get off put by you meeting them? I need an app that lets me just meet other dudes.
Well, what's
Just
the
hang
purpose
out.
of the Nintendo one? What is that one? What's the reason for that? To
It's-
get you into game?
It's game, like there's points to it. So if I have my 3DS and Jemmy has her 3DS and we're in range of each other, we get it's hard to explain to someone who doesn't have one. There's different games support street passing. So for example, we both play Animal Crossing. So it'll update this part of the game where we can go in and see each other's houses.
Basically, you get in-game bonuses for the more people you pass.
Yes, exactly.
Well, then make it a game on the freaking phone. Where you get points for getting street passes or whatever.
That's what we.
You get those coins for the real money
For
trade.
the phone. Anyway, never mind.
Yeah, you give them in-game purchases. That's another future of gaming issue I wanted to touch on. In-app purchases.
Again,
Do you think this is good? I know we always talk about it, but just think of it as something that could be a thing further down the road. Do you think this is a trend, or do you think this is something that's just going to slowly creep its way into mainstream gaming beyond EA doing it? Because they have already started with
They've
SimCity,
already gone
Sims
there.
4
They've done it.
Yeah, but do you think that other people will catch on to this trend, other AAA developers, or do you think they'll wise up and realize that nobody likes this model for a game you already paid for?
I can't
I
name
think it's
any
here to
games,
stay.
but I've heard of it or seen of it in some newer games that are coming out.
I think it's here to stay in the sense that it'll fund games that are free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the sense of the case for Sims 3 and Sims 4 having
You pay for those.
microtransactions,
Yeah.
I already paid you my $60. What?
No,
Exactly.
more
I feel like that's here to stay too. But I think over time that'll evolve itself down to very reasonable prices or reasonable content for what you paid. Like it'll be a little more than just cosmetic stuff, depending on the game. I don't know. But I feel like it's here to stay because it's profitable. People buy it, so it's not going away.
Yeah, I also have kind of a different take on it too, because I don't think you're wrong, but what if, say that, okay, so game development, just look at the history of game development. It used to be game development was very limited. You'd have just pixels on a screen, right? Like Atari graphics. But it would take them forever to make these games. We didn't have the technology to make them very fast. As technology got better, the games looked better, and they were made faster. And now we're at this point where we're making games incredibly fast that look incredibly good, and I think that if we keep on that trend, we're going to have games coming out in less than a year apart. You know, we're going to get The Sims 5 in no time flat. People won't have time to invest all this money into the microtransactions because they'll be waiting for the next copy. They're like, I'm going to get this new game soon. I'm done playing this one.
Yeah.
Does that
maybe-
make sense? I know I'm kind of bumbling through that, but do you get it?
I get what you're saying, but it's like maybe microtransactions will be a way for developers to maybe slow down and then just like content update to keep people interested in the old game. Because then it's less development cost for them. Because
So it could
it's
slow
already
down game
made.
development.
It could slow it down and keep you in the games that you've already paid for longer and keep paying for.
Yeah, I see this thing where, like, for instance, the Call of Duty series. I mean, they made like 2 or 3 Call of Duties in the same year, and I think it's because of the fact that, you know, they're hiring more people to develop games, and I don't know, maybe they feel as though they need more money, and so they put out games faster. Whereas, say, a game that has the microtransactions might not have to come out with a game, you know, every quarter of a year. They can just come out with one game a year, make a bunch of money on the microtransactions, and then come out with the next game a year later. So I don't know.
I think having sequels a year apart is still too fast. Personally, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't get to them in time. We already have Assassin's Creed Unity, and they're already discussing the next thing with Assassin's Creed. Unity just came out. I haven't beaten Assassin's Creed 4. I know I have plenty of time, but
Yeah,
I
you
haven't
did.
played other. You shut up. You haven't. You're so far behind in Assassin's Creed. I ought to smack you.
You know what? I don't care. I found my new gaming love, and I'm involved in that.
Ugh, I hope it dies.
It's heavily committed. We are going so steady right now.
Ugh.
You know,
Romeo and Juliet, we're going to kill each other.
you know, also just technology with phones. Same thing. It seems like phones are coming out like quicker and quicker. Like the iPhone 6 is already coming out. You know, we just got the iPhone 5. What, a year and a half ago, or the iPhone 5S? I gotta reframe that.
Yeah.
Because the iPhone 5 came out like 2 years ago. But still, it's like, you know, how long was it from the iPhone 3 to the iPhone 4? It was quite a long time, wasn't it?
Those are pretty even, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, they've been pretty steady on.
It seemed like it was like 3 years, 3 or 4 years, or something like that. I don't know.
Were you going to say something before, Jimmy? I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, either of you were interested in playing. There's a recruited adventure kind of thing, and it's items for both. There's this cool, awesome dual mount that I really, really want. It's a giant chocobo that's a 2-seater, and it's like, oh, it's so pretty and it's so big. So I need to find a recruit a friend buddy who's willing to pay for 3 months.
That's another way for them to make a little bit more money.
Yeah.
I would ask our podcast
It's free
followers.
advertisement.
I'm just saying, I'm not into. I just can't get into an MMO right now. But maybe one of our podcast followers will take you up on that.
Oh, I love
At
MMOs. I know that if I do,
you're willing
I'll
to
get
be my recruit a friend. Let me know.
Yeah, tweet at
I will
everything
get
noob.
addicted. Definitely, if I get into it, I know I will.
So that's the thing. I can't afford to get addicted to a game like that right now. I'm too busy.
But I save money overall because I don't do anything else.
Just busy in general. I mean, you know how it works. It's especially with me. I have like a billion different projects going on, but
jeez, I haven't even finished Guild Wars 2.
I know. I didn't even max out my guy in Guild Wars 2. Anyway.
No, then near the end there, all we did was go by and get all the area icon things or whatever they are.
Then you want to just complete the area and then
exactly.
Really tedious. There was another going back to some of these gaming technologies that are out there. There's another one that I kind of want Microsoft to stick with because I think it's kind of cool. A little bit immersive. I don't know. It's also kind of hokey at the same time, but if done right, I think it could be pretty cool. Did you guys see any videos on the Illuma Room? Am I saying that right? When it like first came out, or that they were working on it?
That sounds right. Illuma Room.
I can't say that I did. I'm sure I did, but I can't remember it.
Well, they said they were working on a project that would basically project images throughout your entire living room. So imagine you're playing an FPS game on a TV, and all of a sudden, the whole screen gets surrounded by this projection of everything around you. And it's not anything you need to see. Like, you're not going to use the projected image on your bookshelf to spot an enemy or anything, but it immerses you in the game more. If you look down on the floor, there's gravel, where you're running. And, like, for example, it was just kind of cool looking the way they presented it in the video.
You would have to be in a white room, though, because
get it, yeah. But imagine this. You're playing a game and someone runs at you with a flamethrower. That's another thing they showed. And the flames are coming at you in the screen, but they're also going around the screen, too. Like the fire's coming out of your TV.
So it's IMAX 3D all the way around.
Kind of.
That would be, seriously, it would be interesting. But say like you had a bookshelf and the flame comes out, you're going to see it out of the corner of your eye, but you're also going to see your bookshelf there. And it's almost going to be like...
So you're saying that would ruin it for you?
Using a projector on a wall rather than a screen, right?
Yeah.
So you could see like a movie or something, and you've got stuff on the wall, like a frame or whatever. You can't. It's hard to watch a movie that way. So I would think that you'd have to have.
You're already paying attention to the TV in front of you. You're not really going to be watching it anyway. You know what I mean? It's just going to make you feel like you're being
it's a
surrounded.
peripheral thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, got you.
It just makes you feel in there.
Isn't there like an LED light bulb right now that you can kind of sync to your games and it'll like change colors and match your game or whatever for the immersion like effect? So if there's an explosion, it'll flash like red and yellow and probably give you a stroke or a seizure.
Wasn't that PS4 with the controller?
No, there's like it's just like a light bulb that you can like sync. It's like lights that you put in your room, just normal light bulbs, LED light bulbs.
That just seems obnoxious to me.
I know, but like some people really like it.
This whole Illuma Room thing kind of gets me thinking. What if instead of projected from on your walls or on the side of you or whatever, I know they're trying to get away from wearing stuff, but the Oculus Rift is just freaking huge. It's this box and it's supposedly heavy and it's hard to work with. What if they just had like a headset like this, but it had like blinders on the sides like this, and it somehow got data from what you were seeing on the screen to visually look like the screen is around you, because it would
Mhm.
like trick your mind into thinking that it was all one continuous screen, which it could.
Yeah.
If you visually look at it, you could do that. And they made something like that. Now that would be interesting. That would be kind of
I-
neat. You could have like an Oculus Rift kind of
Feel.
but not have this big old box around you. Instead, it would be like kind of like this. Probably wouldn't be as three-dimensional, but kind of
I've-
this Luma Room kind of idea, but not having it projected on your walls.
I've always imagined, and I might have even said this on the show before, that if we ever want true virtual reality, it's going to have to be in the form of something like the movie Gamer, if you ever saw
Yeah.
that, where you're standing in a room dedicated to gaming because
And the whole
every
room is
wall,
white.
yeah,
Yeah, just
every wall
everything
is
is-
a part of it. The
Yeah.
floor is like a treadmill, like this, orbital treadmill thing you run on in any direction if you're in like in a shooter game or something.
Kind of like
Oh,
the
yeah, I found
holodeck in
it.
Star Trek, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like basically a holodeck room in your house.
Yeah.
I really feel like that's going to be the only thing that we get when it comes to virtual reality and being comfortable at the same time. I think that's as close as we're going to get.
But
I mean,
making
maybe
it affordable.
I'm
That
talking
would-
in the, with the technology we have available now. That's how I see it happening. Maybe in the future we get all that technology that's in the Oculus Rift shrunk down to the point where it's just sunglasses, and that would be pretty comfortable. But for
Yeah.
now, it's definitely not ideal. I mean, Oculus Rift, from what we've heard about it, it has terrible graphics compared to what we have today, and there's so much technology they already have in it to make it very heavy and bulky. In order to get it to look nicer and make it feel even better, they're going to have to make it heavier and bulkier.
That's true, yeah.
They could try to make like what we have now with a tower and a computer and just kind of wire it to the screen.
I would like that. I think that would be a better way to go about it than putting the entire computer in your face.
And then, because isn't it wired already? It's not wireless.
Maybe for power. I don't really know.
Yeah, because it takes the images and stuff. So
I
they
would
should
think
just
that it
kind
plugs
of
into like a USB
take all that
port.
out. Make a
Yeah.
box that you plug it in and it goes all through that. I mean, that would create some latency issues, but at least you're not sporting 50 pounds on your head.
I can see us getting past the latency issues faster than I can see us taking all that technology and condensing it into a smaller, more comfortable unit.
I see the smaller, more comfortable unit first because latency, depending on the materials you're using, we've kind of reached our cap.
I guess you would have to have a very, very high resolution to have a whole room filled with images. I mean, your resolution would have to be extremely, because otherwise everything it would be pixelated, right? At that size, I mean, try and take, I've got my computer hooked to a big screen TV right now, and I've got, pretty high resolution for my small screen on my laptop. But when I look at the same screen on this big screen, I can see the pixels. You know what I mean? And this is a high definition TV. I can imagine even bigger. The pixels would be even larger. So, I'm imagining that having that high definition, you would have latency issues, right?
There's probably any number of things that would cause it, but I mean, you might be right. I think we may have capped, but if we've capped, I don't think there will be latency issues. I mean, look at wireless controllers. You can sit 30 feet away from your TV and control a character, and it's like basically instantaneous. At least it feels that way, and that's all that matters.
As long as you have good signal, but on paper, yes, there is latency compared to a corded thing. And it's also the length of the cord. I mean, but that's getting into some, like, serious nerd discussion and, like, elitist debate.
Yeah.
And I've argued enough with people over, like, using a wireless keyboard for gaming and stuff like that. I don't want to go there. Unless you're a pro gamer, doesn't matter. Just make sure your batteries are full and you have good signal, and you'll probably be okay. If you're pro, might want to go the wired route and make sure it's a short wire. And then STFU.
No, I agree. I think it's ridiculous to try to call out, latency on stuff like so. You're splitting hairs, Quite literally.
Yeah, it only matters on the pro level.
And even then, I still don't agree.
No, I agree too. Do what's comfortable for you. If you need to lean back to have fun, do it. Get that wireless keyboard. Lay in the bed.
I don't like laying down and using a keyboard.
I don't either, but I'm sure somebody does.
I know people do. That's the thing.
Oh, there it is. The wireless.
I haven't hooked it up yet.
I have a wireless keyboard too, but it stays here. It's just I just got
It's a
it because
Logitech.
it's actually easier to find wireless things than it is to find wired things.
I
found.
can't pull it far enough to, but it's wired. I have a wired gaming keyboard.
Oh man, so there's just a whole bunch of projects that have been talked about for a while. I mean, the article even mentioned the Wii U, and at the time of the article, the Wii U hadn't, I guess, failed as much as it's failed. But I like the concept of the Wii U in the sense that if you have the gamepad and you use it in tandem with the Wiimote, there's some cool things they do. Like, you can put the gamepad on the ground, and let's say it has a golf ball on it, and the Wiimote is your golf club. And little things like that are just kind of nifty. I mean, you don't need it, but you can actually aim at the golf ball because it's sitting there on a screen that's below you, and then hit it into your TV.
Oh, that'd probably make me worse at that game.
It's not easy. I've tried it. It's really not easy at all, but it's
That's
still
pro
kind of
mode.
Yeah. It's cool to see that there's a lot of experimentation going on with how we can make games more interesting and fun. And I mean, when I think about all the experimentation, I get a little bit irked at some of the, mobile games that people are trying to pass for like real gaming experiences. It shouldn't bother me at all because it's not stunting the growth of those other things, but it's just kind of, sit there and think that's not the future of gaming. People want more immersive experiences, not how can we fit all of this into something that you can play in the airport.
Well, people want both,
Yeah.
though. It's different audiences, honestly.
Or on the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the toilet play. Sometimes
I'm sorry, but I take my iPhone with me. It's
I think
Makes
a lot
things-
of people do.
makes things work easier and
I
probably aren't normal anymore if you don't.
I play mobile games too on my phone. It just bugs me that we're trying so hard to get these amazing games into such a small environment that isn't comfortable to play on. And if I had the option, I'll play on PC. Minecraft is a great example of that. They have Minecraft on everything now, but it's only comfortable to play on a console or a PC, not a smartphone.
I don't know how I can even play on a console, to tell you the truth. I need that mouse to move around.
You'd be surprised. They did a pretty good job on it, but either way,
Yeah.
that's just how I feel, though. That's where I'm at. We keep taking these games that were successful on a real machine and putting them on the phone, and it's impressive that we can do that, but that's really all it is impressive. It's not fun to play on.
Yeah.
Like Grand Theft Auto 3, like I was saying before. It works really well, but you won't see me playing my phone as a Game Boy because it's not comfortable.
Right.
So, that's just me. Anyway, I've enjoyed our discussion of the future of gaming. I wanted.
But now it's in the past.
Yes.
Now it's in the past.
I'm
So
so
it's not
confused.
the future anymore.
It's not. But I wanted to say, if you have thoughts on the future of gaming, please send us a tweet. You can always tweet us or contact us and let us know. We're trying to do this new thing with the show where we talk about a theme and we spend a lot of time on it. And we're doing this in the sense that people will be able to participate in the show more. So if you want to participate in these discussions, always be listening for what the next theme is, next week's theme. We already know next week's theme. Should we announce that?
Sure. I guess.
Yeah. I'm scared.
Should we do it? Someone tell me what it is. I forgot.
What?
Game.
Modding.
Modding
Yes.
and gaming.
I thought it was retro because I know we were talking about that, and then we decided on modding, and I forgot.
Modding and gaming. Retro would be probably a topic in the future.
Yeah,
We're talking about the future.
The future will be retro.
And then you'll be in a podcast, so it will be listening in the past or to the
Yeah.
past in the
There you go.
future.
Exactly. I knew there was a reason I wanted to bring it up because modding and gaming is another thing I had written down as something I wanted to discuss as part of the future of gaming. how much of that do you think the developers are going to turn over to us as the gamers? The gamers capable of coding, like that seems to be more of a thing. And I don't want to get too into it because obviously that's next week's discussion, but it does involve the future of gaming.
Yeah, a lot of these technologies here require a developer to develop apps and games for these things. I mean, that would definitely, they would need developer support.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's, I don't know. It's exciting. I like how far Minecraft's come without the help of Mojang, the creators of Minecraft.
But they need to come out with that dev kit.
Oh
Seriously.
my god, they do. They really do.
Get
But
on
it's nice that they're working on it though. It's so cool. So that's kind of what our discussion is about next week. We're going to talk about mods we've seen and you know, I guess it'd be another future of gaming discussion if you think about it. But yeah, modding in gaming. So do your homework, find a game that you love to play and you love mods on. Share them with us at Everything Noob on Twitter, or you can contact us. If you want, you can leave us a voicemail on the website. And we have a phone number on there and everything. You can leave a voicemail, and if we like it, we'll play it on the show.
yeah.
You can be on the show. Yeah.
Live.
There are
Remembrance.
some other
Hey.
secondary things we were going to discuss tonight. And speaking of like all those iOS things and handheld gaming, there was something that I found, and I wanted to bring this up because it was I'm not normally into clones, but for some reason this really, really intrigued me, and for the past few days I've been messing with it. But maybe you guys have seen it, maybe not. It says it's an iOS game, but for all I know, they might have it for Android as well. There's a Pokemon clone called Micromon, and I was actually really surprised at how many people were raving about it. The reviews on the iOS App Store were just like mostly 5-star reviews. There's over 2,000 of them.
But let me guess, there's microtransactions.
There is, but they're not obtrusive. They're all, you pay $1 for the app, and you can, anything you get in the games, it seems that you can also, just about anything, you can also buy it with in-game money, which is easy enough to obtain.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like, if you just want to skip a little bit of grinding,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, basically. But they did a good job with some of the mechanics that Pokemon didn't have. That's kind of impressive.
Oh,
Is there
so
like a
they
storyline or?
fixed up some stuff. The storyline, from what I understand, is pretty much a clone of the Pokemon storyline.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
it's
They just changed the
blatant.
names.
It's pretty blatant.
They don't hide it. They're very shameless. They're just like, people want Pokemon for the phone. We made our version of it. Is kind of, it might as well be their catchphrase for the, their tagline for the game. But you'd be surprised. I spent the $1 and I've been playing it a little bit. And I think what I like the most about it is some of the things that Pokemon kind of overlooked. For example, if you're playing Pokemon, you know how you have like moves, you can have up to 4 moves per Pokemon, and then you have to delete a move to use, you know what I mean? To use another one. Well, in this, you learn more than 4 moves, but you can only equip 4 at a time. So that's kind of...
So they limited it.
They limited it to you can only equip 4 at a time, but you can learn as many as you want, and then they're interchangeable.
Oh.
That's kind of nice.
So when you're constructing your party, you can select which ones you want each one to have. But some of the dumber things they did were, like, you know how in Pokemon, wind would beat fire? And it would make sense because you can blow out a candle. And this fire beats wind, and there's a lot of opposites, like rock beats water. And it's very confusing. And they did it to be different, just a...
Yeah.
No, they did it so they couldn't get sued.
I mean, how do they do the Pokeball thing?
That's actually... The way it works is it pretends that it sucked you into its world. So you're playing within your cell phone, and your cell phone acts as like something that obtains data. So you catch it by like trying to capture it in your phone, and then your phone loads it, and it can fail at loading the Pokemon or the Micromon. And
that's kind of cool.
It's not bad. It's really, I'm actually kind of impressed by it for what it is. For $1, if you're someone who doesn't have a 3DS or something, but you want like an online Pokemon experience, it's kind of cool because within seconds you can be fighting people online.
The graphics are really good. Like they
Can
are
you connect
super
with-
cutesy.
Yeah,
If you could do it online, can you connect with friends?
I believe
Like
so.
if I was to get the app, would I be able to connect with you in it somehow?
I believe so. There's
You have to get it on Apple though. It's not on Android. I looked.
okay.
This is why I haven't heard of it until it was being brought up in the show notes and stuff. I'm like, what is this? Oh, don't get my hopes up because it's not on Android. I will not be playing it.
No, if there's a demand for it, who knows? I mean,
I would buy it. Definitely.
it seems it's fun. I mean, I was impressed. I guess it's obviously it's a Pokemon clone, but they've done a few things differently that I like. Another thing they did was each Micromon has a development rate next to their like all their other stats. And it's from 1 to 10. So if you see a Pokemon Micromon that has a development rate of 10, that means it's going to level up very fast. It's going to learn the best moves. It's going to be, a really awesome one to catch, rather than the same one that has a crappier development rate.
That's the EV training though.
Yeah,
It's just a different system for that.
kind of. Yeah, it's like they just took some of the ideas and tweaked them a bit. And also, you know how you can only use a certain move so many times before you have to heal your party?
Yeah.
So you can use your fireball 10 times and then it's
The
gone.
PP.
Yeah. That's stamina now. So each move takes a certain amount of stamina, and then you can run out of stamina and then you only can use your moves that require no stamina.
So what's the move that requires no stamina?
Bite.
Bite?
Probably just basic attacks, yeah.
Just stuff like that.
Wiggle instead of struggle?
Yeah. It's
Claw, bite.
if you play it, you'll find yourself kind of like wanting to make fun of it, or you'll find yourself really just wanting to play Pokemon again. That's kind of what it made me do. I want to get back into that, but still, it's kind of neat. Nintendo won't release the rights to Pokemon on phones.
So somebody just made.
It's
That's
about
why
time a real
come on,
clone got made,
developers,
though.
go out there. We need a clone of Animal Crossing.
I'm still wanting
That's
that
what we
Pokemon
need.
MMO. Like a real Pokemon experience. So none of this like gross crap that Nintendo would make. Like a serious full on go out, explore, walk in a field with your Pokemon, battle the trainers on the fly.
But then, if it's not Nintendo, then it can't be Pokemon. It has to be like this Micromon.
I'd be down for that.
But Animal Crossing needs to be done as well.
I think mostly people are just using emulators to play that one on their PCs if they don't have a Nintendo.
Yeah, I know, but it's really wonky and illegal.
And illegal.
Yeah.
Well,
Still
the other thing that didn't quite fit into our topic, but it just kind of came up over the week. Obviously, the Twitch changes here on Twitch TV that do affect us as people who stream on Twitch. We stream this podcast on Twitch. We have our own Twitch channels, and it's kind of interesting because when the news broke about YouTube obtaining Twitch. I recall saying that if it gets really bad, I'd want to move to Hitbox, and I believe a lot of other people would. And I've seen it. I'm already seeing people saying, I'm going to Hitbox, F this noise.
Yeah.
You know what clued me in that YouTube was seriously going to buy Twitch is when they rolled out for the past video plays, they rolled out the bot that would mute audio for an hour at a time.
That's the news.
The copyright thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So it hasn't confirmed that Google's buying it. This is just a speculation still.
I think we're like 99% sure of that. I thought it was confirmed, but now I'm reading it's still not confirmed, which is very
it's
obnoxious.
still not confirmed.
But
Somebody's
with
buying
rumors
it. That's why they're
circulating.
doing this.
Absolutely.
But
Everyone's
they're
pretty
making
sure it's
changes that are consistent with YouTube though, and Google themselves. That's why people still think that it's a possibility.
happening. Yeah.
Because these changes, like the copyright infringement, they're going back on old videos that are on there. They're going to delete ones that are older than 2 weeks. They're also going to delete any that have copyright infringements on them.
Well, they're muting an hour at a time or half hour at a time if they find that you've been playing music and they detect it's been copywritten. So let's say you have a 3-hour highlight and you have a good 2 hours of that has copywritten music. That 2 hours is going to get muted.
Yeah.
Which here's why I'm a little bit frustrated, because I said myself I would consider Hitbox as my alternative to Twitch if things got bad. However, I've always said also that you shouldn't play copyrighted music on your Twitch streams because eventually
Right.
Twitch is going to have to crack down. They're going to reach a certain popularity level where they're going to be in the eyes of the FCC, and they have to crack down.
And Hitbox will do the same.
Exactly.
You know,
It's
they're
not really
all
the
have to
FCC.
comply.
Well, yeah.
It's the copyright holders that are going
Exactly,
to
but-
complain and sue.
Yeah, I don't know why I said
have to
FCC.
comply. So that's fine. I understand the copyright
Yeah.
issue.
So
But as far as, you know,
I've seen people
just have-
getting pissed off and saying they're going to go to Hitbox, but that's the only real news that's broken, right? I mean,
All that says to
Oh,
me
yeah.
is, oh, you were breaking the rules and you admit it?
yeah.
Because that is still against the rules.
yeah.
Exactly. It's always been against the rules. And
And they're
people-
just deleting old content that you have on your Twitch.
yeah,
so-
so
They're
people
Not
aren't
alive.
that's the other thing. People aren't going back and watching your previous unless it's a short highlight. They're not going back and watching a 2-hour live stream you did a week ago. They want to see
and
you
it's just a
now.
waste of space. Yeah, right.
So they want to get rid of those, and then people had an uproar about that too. And just let them, they're
You can push it to your YouTube channel. If you need to keep it, push it.
exactly.
Yeah, it's built into Twitch to do that. You
No
can
matter
send
what,
content right over to YouTube.
people don't like change no matter what it is. So this isn't surprising, but it is. The amount of people I saw that wanted to go to Hitbox, it was pretty laughable because you can play your copywritten music there for now, but either Hitbox isn't going to get big enough to sustain itself, or they're going to get big, and then once again, your copywritten music is going to be illegal, and punishable.
It probably already is still against the rules over
Oh,
at Hitbox.
absolutely, but
They just don't have a way to enforce it.
yeah, they're not punishing people or enforcing the rules. So people are getting away with playing Pandora on their streams. But meanwhile, there's all these really viable music creators out there who are letting us play their music in streams, and they're being completely overlooked. All types of genres of music, great music that you could play on your streams without getting in trouble, and they're being overlooked. Makes me so
Yeah,
mad.
there's some really good ones. There's actually actual people who make music, albums and stuff like that say, hey, they want you to use it. It's like they say, hey, yeah, use our music. Hey, you can use it anytime you want. Great one is
approaching Nirvana.
Approaching
obviously.
Nirvana. You know, they make music specifically for us to use, and they love to get their names out there now. I mean, look at how big they are now.
Oh, people.
And so
I swear I
they
heard 'em
could
in a
put together an
commercial.
album. They could put together an album. I guarantee you, people will buy it in a second. in a heartbeat.
They do. They do put out albums, and they're on iTunes, and you can download them. Some even get involved with record labels, and the record label supports the music being played on streams and on YouTube.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that they did careful cherry picking for that because they didn't want to create that confusion. And their fan base is based off of the whole we can use this music while we stream and all that stuff. And like that would be horrible for them to turn their backs on the people who got their music out there.
Oh yeah, that's true too. But there's others too. There's others out there that allow you to use their music freely. So
It's kind of funny. Do you think Approaching Nirvana or other groups would be as popular as they are if they were like every other band or artist?
No.
It's kind of it's a testament to how good is their music. I love their music though. I could listen. Sometimes I'll be listening to iTunes on random, and one of their songs will come on, and I won't skip it. I think it's a good song, but I'm not streaming or anything. They make good music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good
very good.
music, but it's very niche and it's not what the mainstream listens to. So nobody would be going and looking for Approaching Nirvana.
Yeah.
I mean, myself.
So it would not have been out there.
Yeah, myself. If I was to be watching, if like I'm watching a stream or watching something where, and that in the background just sounds good. It's really good background music. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So like having it in the background of something would be good.
Which is all you want. I don't want to hear Gavin DeGraw while you're, playing Minecraft. It's not only is it distracting because there's lyrics, but it's not. I don't know. It's just not cool. You know what I mean? You're trying to do a broadcast, and you're trying to talk over this music. Maybe someone really likes the song, and now they're not paying attention to you or what's going on. They just want to hear the
Right,
song,
right.
and they want you to shut up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason that online radio stations have to go through so much licensing in order to be allowed to play music, and there's you could run an online radio station on Twitch, but now
Yeah,
not
basically.
for long, which is I'm glad. I'm kind of, in a mean way, I'm kind of glad, because it's not fair that I can't make a YouTube video and play copywritten music. Why should you be able to live stream and play copywritten music?
Yeah. So
You could though, but you'd have to get all those permissions and then fight YouTube's Autobots for banning.
Yeah.
I think one of the
It's
big
possible.
problems with Twitch when we saw those people that were, we want to move to Hitbox, was when they were trying to make Twitch much more user for for iPhones and stuff. Make it work
mobile.
better on iPhones and stuff. So when they did that, it ruined it for the PC users, because what would happen is it would constantly try to load, or your stream would freeze and then it would
You're talking about
load.
buffering.
Buffering, the buffering thing. I
The-
think that's when people started freaking out.
That was the first big red flag, but that was before all this YouTube drama came up. It was just stream buffering pisses people off because you're live. You don't want to watch something that's like 10, 20, 30 seconds delayed, sometimes
Especially
by
when
minutes.
there's chat. Yeah, especially when there's chat involved. I mean, when you're chatting with somebody, that was a cool jump. What jump? That was like 10 minutes ago. What are you talking about?
I can't even remember that anymore.
Yeah.
It's gone. Boop.
That
So
is
it's
legitimate.
crazy.
That's one of the reasons I can see people being upset and wanting to go to a service that doesn't buffer.
Right.
But I also recall us talking about this and saying, well, if Hitbox gets really popular, they're going to have a high server load. And if they have a high server load, they're going to have to do something. But hopefully it wouldn't be something as stupid as buffering a live stream.
Yeah.
But who knows? Everything buffers. I mean, going back to online radio stations, the one I'm on now, even that has to buffer sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I mean, when I really think about it, what else are they going to do?
Well,
I
the
don't
thing is, like, when you have like a 50 megabit per second download and you go on Twitch and it buffers, it's like, what?
It's really, yeah, I can see that being
Yeah,
frustrating.
it's ridiculous.
Outside of spending a ton of money, though, to make sure their servers can handle the load, there's, maybe now we will get rid of buffering because they're going to have the funding to increase their performance.
No,
Yeah.
I think buffering's here to stay.
Really?
I feel like YouTube's gonna phase out that chat box.
That will be the knife that kills Twitch, I think. if
Because
they phase out
why,
chat.
if they didn't want the chat box, why didn't YouTube put it on their live streams? And then just retroactively make all those chats like comments on the video.
Because the idiots that design their website don't know what the hell they're doing, but Twitch already has it in there and it's successful. But no one knows what the hell they're... Every time YouTube makes a change, it breaks the entire website. I mean,
Or they could just record the chat and like bleep it like in at the same time that it happened live when it was live streaming. So if you watch the playback, and you can watch essentially the live playback of the chat as it happened when it was live. But I don't know. Like they never do, and people scream for it at YouTube. Chat is really old technology, so that wouldn't be hard. They clearly don't want it there.
I heard they got rid of their live streaming after they got Twitch, but I think that was a rumor. I think either that or they're planning on getting rid of their live streaming because they own Twitch. Twitch got rid of Justin TV.
Well, I
It's
thought
not there no more?
I thought they own both though, and it was eventually they were going to shut down one.
Yeah. Justin TV, I actually was on there not that long ago trying to figure out, because Justin TV is more for just general live streams. And I thought, well, everything new, we don't really play video games. What if that was a better place for us? And I was on there looking around, and most of their live streams were people streaming TV shows or movies. It wasn't anyone streaming like anything worth watching other than content that wasn't legally theirs to stream.
Yeah, exactly.
There was one channel like just dedicated to Futurama, just on a loop, played all the Futurama episodes.
That's crazy.
Kudos if you really wanted to watch Futurama, but shame on you if you actually watch that. Don't support that.
Exactly. And it had hundreds of people watching. And that's
Wow.
what was really like frustrating about it. Like this site's going to get shut down completely, and sure enough, there it goes. But they have, if they're going to keep streaming on YouTube and they're going to, push their gamers to use Twitch and keep regular streams on YouTube, YouTube's a better place for that anyway. It has a better audience. So if you're going to stream just you in front of the camera doing something, I think YouTube's
or
great.
just a general podcast about, gardening or something
Gardening
stupid.
podcast.
They still need a chat box.
Well, it's not really
though.
stupid.
It's
but-
like listening to grass grow.
I watch a podcast or book club, whatever, that they do live monthly on YouTube, and they stream it on YouTube, and there is no chat. And they are very interactive with their audience that are there live, but they have to go through Twitter, and they had other ways, but then they just were like, look, we're only going to pay attention to Twitter. It's too big now. We can barely even keep up with just Twitter. So they just need that chat box. I think they've even said they've wanted it, and Google's not going to do anything. They don't care.
Yeah, they really botched
Even
that
just-
live streaming feature.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
somehow integrate Google Chat, but with a public channel for your specific YouTube channel. That would even work.
Who knows? I mean, you could do it, but is there room on their site, I guess, to make it? Because when you watch a live stream, when I've watched streams on YouTube, I almost question if I'm watching something live, because it still looks like I'm watching a video, and you kind of have to look around
because
the
it'll
page
say
a bit
live
to-
next to it, and you'll but is this really live? How do I know if it's really live? Because it still has the thing. I could still go backwards if I want to.
They're obsessed with keeping the related videos on the side where chat should
Yeah.
go. And that's when you should take that away. But they're so obsessed with getting you to bounce around the site, they don't want to get rid of that.
Right.
I want to stay with the live video, though, if I'm on the live video.
No, I agree. So, who knows? I mean, when I do the Drew and Dan Digress podcast with Drew, we use YouTube and Google Plus, and there's no chat, but we just have to, say, oh well, I guess we'll just use Twitter if people want to get in touch. Thankfully, there's Twitter. That's the
Twitter is
moral
a
of the
good
story.
chat function. It's a sad substitute. It really should be there, but it's a good substitute too.
Yeah. Well, it's about time we wrap up the show. But
Oh, what about our highlight?
That's right. We only have a couple minutes left. Maybe we
Do
should
we
save it for next
save it?
week.
Save it.
We'll save it for next week.
I can play it more then.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up at the end of the show.
Well, I thought we were off time anyway, and I thought that you were saving it for the very last.
Do we have a spelling bee? I wonder if that's one of the monsters.
Ooh,
A bee.
you're giving it away.
I know. It's hints. I'm sorry. Spoilers.
I'm probably gonna make a
Hashtag.
video of it this week though, but we'll cover it next week. We have an indie spotlight that's really unique, really fun, and we'll have to cover it next
it's a
week
fun
because we're out
game.
of time. But we do appreciate you coming by. Make sure if you want to participate in the next show, think of a gaming mod, your favorite gaming mod, and tweet it to @everythingnoob. We'll talk about it on next week's show. So there you go. There's your homework.
All righty.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next week with another episode of the Everything Noob podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Everything Noob podcast. Be sure to visit everythingnoob.com for previous episodes, show notes, host bios, and blogs. And while you're there, feel free to write us with any questions, comments, or suggestions you may have. Don't forget to check out the links to our Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch TV channel as well. On behalf of the Noobs, see you next week, and happy gaming.